So yeah, just make yourself comfortable. You might be lying on your back. You might prefer to lie on your side. You might prefer to be sitting. But if you're lying down or however you are, make sure that you're warm enough. So a blanket, a pair of socks is always a good idea, or a jumper. Even if it feels quite warm in the air, sort of in the world around you, it's quite, the body tends to cool down quite quickly because we're sitting still for a while. And just taking a moment to allow the body to settle into stillness, to really kind of experience and notice what this stillness is, how it feels, how you experience it. And sometimes you kind of feel completely still on the outside, but you get like little flutterings of movement on the inside, maybe your heart kind of fluttering, or your fingers want to move, or there's some kind of movement going on inside of the body. And just observing those sensations, flutterings, whatever they might be, and allowing the body to sink quite heavily down now. So through those points of contact, noticing all of those points of contact that you have with whatever it is that you're resting on. So the back of the head, the backs of the shoulders, areas of the back, buttocks, the backs of the thighs, maybe the knees and the heels. Noticing all of those points of contact and noticing the weight of the physical body, and allowing the weight of the body to be transferred through those points of contact down into the floor beneath. And you can use your breath to do this. So you can, every time you exhale, it's like you're letting go a little bit deeper, a little bit further. With every exhale, you're consciously transferring the weight of the physical body down through those points of contact into the floor and into the earth beneath. And settling into your breath as well. So noticing and becoming aware of the breath as it comes in and as it goes out, noticing the movement of the breath, noticing where in the body the breath is traveling to. And recognizing all of the little details of the breath. So the breath that comes in is a little bit cooler, and the breath that goes out is a little bit warmer. Noticing the movement of the hairs inside the nostrils and the hairs on the upper lip. Noticing the places where one breath turns into the next breath, where the inhale becomes an exhale, and where the exhale turns back into an inhale. Really studying those turning points closely and in detail. And what you'll probably find is initially that's just a tiny, tiny moment between the breaths that you don't really notice in your waking life, at the top of the inhale and at the bottom of the exhale. But as you bring more focus there, you become more focused on those little moments, little momentary pauses between the breaths. And you might find that they start to expand a little bit. You don't have to hold your breath necessarily, but just allowing those moments at the top of the inhale and at the bottom of the exhale to expand a little bit, to take a little bit more time. And within those momentary pauses between the two breaths, allowing the body to sink further into stillness. So stillness is an important element of the practice of Yoga Nidra, because we don't want to be disturbed by the physical body. We don't want to be disturbed by any movement in the physical body. But at the same time, you need to be comfortable. So if at any point you start to become uncomfortable, then do please move. Don't feel like you have to stick with the stillness. That's not the main direction here. The direction is for comfort. So if at this stage you feel like you need to shift things around, if you need to move your clothing or your body position or your props or your blanket, please do so. Just make sure that you are completely 100% comfortable. And if throughout the practice you start to feel like your foot's gone numb or your hip starts to ache, you just need to really move. Observe that need to move for a moment. You might find that it just goes away. If it doesn't go away and you find that you are becoming uncomfortable, and more than that, you're being distracted by the physical body is actually distracting you from the practice of Yoga Nidra, then please do move, but do so slowly, with awareness and with the intention to return to stillness. And we're going to begin this practice of Yoga Nidra with a rotation of consciousness. And this rotation of consciousness is going to start in the right hand. So just becoming aware now of the right hand, as if you're shining a light on the right hand. And then specifically on the very tip of the right hand thumb and the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger and the little finger of that right hand, the palm of the hand and the back of the hand, and the right wrist. Moving up the lower arm to the elbow, and the upper right arm to the shoulder, from the shoulder to the armpit, and then taking that awareness, that shining light of conscious awareness down the right side of the body, so the right side of the ribs and the right side of the waist, and the right hip and the right buttock, and down that right leg, the top of the thigh and the back of the thigh, the top of the knee, the kneecap, and the back of the kneecap, the shin, the lower leg, and the calf, the right ankle, the top of the foot, and the sole of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the little toe of the right foot. From the little toe of the right foot, we're going to take that awareness now into the left hand and become aware of the left hand, shining that light of conscious awareness on the left hand. And the very tip of the left hand thumb, and the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the little finger of the left hand, the palm of the hand, and the back of the hand, and the wrist, the lower arm, the left elbow, the upper arm, and the shoulder, to the left armpit, and down the left side of the body, the left side of the ribs, and the left side of the waist, the left hip and buttock. And down that left leg, the top of the thigh and the back of the thigh, the top of the knee, the kneecap, and the back of the knee, and the shin and the calf, the lower leg, the ankle, and the top of the left foot, and the sole of the left foot, and the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the little toe of the left foot. From the little toe of the left foot, taking that awareness now right up to the very top of the head, so becoming aware of the crown of the head, the very top of the head. The very top of the head, and from the top of the head along to the hairline, so the whole scalp of the head, all the way down to the hairline. And across the forehead, I'm going to take the right side of the face now, so the right eyebrow and the right eye, the right cheek and the right nostril, and the left side of the face, the left eyebrow, the left eye, the left cheek and the left nostril. And the very tip of the nose, the upper lip and the lower lip, and the chin, along the right side of the jaw to the right ear and the outside of the right ear, and the inside of the right ear. From the inside of the right ear coming back out and along that jawline again, all the way to the left side of the jaw and the left ear, the outside of the left ear and the inside of the left ear. From the inside of the left ear coming back out and back down to the chin again. And again the upper lip and the lower lip, and particularly the meeting point between the lips. Taking that awareness inside the mouth to the very tip of the tongue. From the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, the top of the mouth. And the bottom of the mouth, the lower jaw. And all the way back to the very root of the tongue, the very base of the tongue, beginning deep down in the throat. And from there down to that little point between the two collarbones at the base of the throat. And moving over to the right collarbone and the right side of the chest. And then the left collarbone and the left side of the chest to the center of the chest. From the center of the chest down to the belly button. The space above the belly button, the upper abdomen, and the space below the belly button, the lower abdomen. To the front of the pelvis, the mound of Venus. From the mound of Venus to the center of the pelvic floor, the perineum. And then to the tip of the tailbone. And from the tip of the tailbone up to the sacrum, the back of the pelvis. And the lower back, the middle of the back, and the upper back. So the right shoulder blade and the left shoulder blade, and the space between the shoulder blades. Moving up then to the back of the neck and to the back of the head. And all the way back up to the very top of the head, the crown of the head. Then becoming aware, shining that light of conscious awareness on the whole of the right arm, the whole of the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips, the front of the arm and the back of the arm, the inside and the outside of the right arm. And then shining that light of conscious awareness on the whole of the right leg, the whole of the right leg, from the hip to the toes. The inside of the right leg and the outside of the leg. The front and the back of the right leg. From the hip to the toes, the whole of the right leg. And then the whole of the left arm. Shining this light of conscious awareness on the whole of the left arm. The left arm, the front, the back, the inside, the outside. From the shoulder to the fingertips, the whole of the left arm. And the whole of the left leg. From the hip to the toes. Inside of the left leg and the outside of the leg. The front and the back of the left leg. From the hip to the toes. The whole of the left leg. Becoming aware of the whole of the head, the face and the scalp, the whole of the head, the ears, and then becoming aware of the body, the torso, from the shoulders to the hips, from the hips to the shoulders, the front of the torso, and the back of the torso. From the shoulders to the hips, the back of the torso, the right side of the torso, from the armpit to the right hip, and the left side of the torso, from the left armpit to the left hip. Becoming aware of the whole body together, the whole body together, shining this light of conscious awareness over the whole body. Recalling that you are practicing yoga Nidra, that you are practicing yoga Nidra. And noticing your body lying on the floor in the practice of yoga Nidra in a state of deep relaxation, nurturing restfulness. And feeling the weight of the body and allowing the body to be really heavy. So as you experience the full weight of the physical body, imagining the body to be really, really heavy, heavy, heavy. As if the whole body is being drawn down towards the center of the earth. And you're just surrendering the whole weight of the body to that force of gravity drawing you down with heaviness, heaviness, release down into the earth. But then from that feeling of heaviness, experiencing an awakening and a feeling of weightlessness, of lightness. As if the whole body is light like a feather, light like a cloud. Like a feather on the breeze. As if the whole body could lift up off of the mat and just hover a couple of inches off of the mat now. Light as a feather. Weightless. Hovering. And then again, from that feeling of weightlessness, of lightness, as you exhale now, exhaling into that heaviness again. So as you exhale, allowing the heaviness to really come upon the whole body, drawing you down towards the center of the earth, nestling down into the earth like a little seed in the warm, soft earth. And with every exhale, you sink down and release down a little bit further into that feeling of heaviness. Of heaviness. But then as you inhale now, the next breath that comes in is going to be a breath that fills the lungs with air, as if the whole body is filled with air, and the body with that air inside can become weightless again and light. Like a balloon floating through the sky, completely weightless and light. And then from that feeling of weightlessness, hovering, floating, again as you exhale, exhaling down into that experience of heaviness. The experience of heaviness as you exhale, and as you exhale into that feeling of heaviness, that experience of sinking down towards or into the earth, allowing yourself also to sink down into an experience of sleepiness. So we're kind of surfing the waves of consciousness between wakefulness and sleep in this practice of yoga nidra. So as the body becomes heavy, as you exhale, also allowing yourself to let go of the idea of needing to be awake right now. Just allowing yourself to drift into that sleepy place. heavy, sleepy. But then the next breath that comes in is going to lift you up out of that heavy, sleepy place into a place of weightlessness, lightness, and alertness. So the body fills with air and becomes light like a feather, like a balloon floating through the blue summer sky. And with that feeling of weightlessness, of lightness, also it brings with it a sense of being completely awake and completely alert. Wakefulness and alertness. And again, as you exhale, we're going to exhale and allow the body to sink down into that experience, that feeling of heaviness and of sleepiness. Of heaviness and of sleepiness. But from that heavy, sleepy place, as the breath comes in, as you inhale, breath brings with it a sense of weightlessness, of lightness, and of awakefulness, of alertness. So the body becomes light and weightless and free. The mind becomes fresh and alert and awake. And then we're going to alternate between these two opposites experiences as you exhale, going down into that heavy, sleepy place, but with the inhale bringing you up and out into this weightless, light feeling of being alert, fresh and awake, and then the exhale taking you down again. So with the breath alternating between these two opposite experiences of being heavy and sleepy on the exhale, but of being alert and light and fresh on the inhale. Knowing that neither one is preferable to the other, they are both just experiences of ways of being in this body, with this mind. Neither one is preferable. And then letting go of this practice of awareness of opposite extremes, again becoming aware now of the physical body lying on the floor, practicing yoga nidra, resting deeply. Resting deeply and noticing just the normal incoming and outgoing breath, noticing the normal natural weight and shape of the physical body lying on the floor. And this time, as you exhale, developing a remembrance, an idea of what it feels like to be cold. To be cold, as if you're lying on a cold stone floor, or you're in the cold sea, that feeling of coldness. You may even experience goosebumps with this feeling of coldness. But then from that feeling of coldness, as you inhale now, remembering a time when you felt really warm, really proper warm all the way through, so your bones are warm. Everything is warm, really warm feeling, warmth, of heat, lying in the hot sun. or in a hot bath. From that feeling of warmth, we're going to exhale, and with the exhale, remembering this experience of being cold, of feeling cold through the whole body, like ice and snow, maybe shivering, goosebumps rising, an experience of coldness, of feeling cold. Then again, from that feeling of coldness, as you inhale, remembering an experience of warmth, of heat, of the whole body being warm. And again, alternating between these two states, the exhale being cold and the inhale being warm. As you exhale, sinking into a feeling of coldness, like sinking into the cold sea. And as you inhale, awakening an experience of warmth, coming out into the sunshine. Alternating between the two, a feeling of cold as you exhale and warmth as you inhale. Knowing that both are just experiences in the physical body. Neither one is preferable to the other. They are both just experiences of sensation in the physical body. And then letting go of the cold and warm practice. And just allowing the body temperature to return to a sort of moderate body temperature. Remembering that you are practicing yoga Nidra. You are practicing yoga Nidra. And returning your awareness again now to your breath, coming in and going out. Just the normal, natural breath. There is no effort involved. You don't need to change or control your breath in any way. Just allowing the breath to be completely normal, completely natural. Allowing the body to be breathed by the breath. And we're going to count these breaths down from 27 to 0. From 27 to 0. So breathing in for 27 and breathing out 27. And breathing in is 26, breathing out is 26. So on and so forth, all the way down from 27 to 0. Counting. Counting. And if you get lost along the way, or if you start going the wrong way, or if you skip a number, or if you get down to 0, just starting again at number 27 and working your way down, counting backwards from 27 to 0. And letting go of the counting. Just returning your awareness to the breath again, to the physical body, lying, resting deeply, practicing yoga, Nidra. So returning awareness now to a place in the center of the chest. The center of the chest is known as the hridyam, it's the heart. And finding a space in the center of your chest that is completely still, that is completely steady, and resting your awareness in that space of the heart. In that still, calm space in the center of the chest. Dute smrta harasi bitim ashe shajanto swastai smrta mati mativa shubhandadasi Dharitriya dukkha bhaya harnikadvadanya sarvopakarakarinaya Sadadrachita Sarvanamangalamangale Shive Savattasarike Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namo Stute Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the stilling of the rotations, the fluctuations, the turnings of the mind. Yoga is that stillness, that still place that is the present moment. So returning your awareness to your breath again, coming in and going out. And as you notice your breath again, notice the movement of the breath, and you might find that the breath has become quite still itself. You might find that you want to start to make it a little bit more dynamic, a little bit slightly longer, slightly deeper breaths. And as the breath comes a little bit longer and a little bit deeper, then starting to become aware of the space around you. You don't have to open your eyes, but just remembering how the room around you is arranged, any furnishings, any windows, where the door is, all of that kind of thing. Just externalize your awareness a little bit. And as you become more aware of the space around you, of your body lying in this deeply relaxed space that is Yoga Nidra, you can start to consider the possibility of making some small movements if you want to. If you feel like you just want to lie still and quietly for a little bit longer, then you're really welcome to do that as well. But if you feel like the time is right for you to start thinking about moving the fingers, moving the toes, maybe running your tongue around the inside of the mouth, and you might find that you want to rotate the wrists and rotate the ankles, maybe turning the head a little bit from side to side, maybe getting ready to have a bit of a stretch, maybe reaching your arms up over your head, stretching everything out. Have a bit of a yawn if there is a yawn there. Stretch your face, stretch your jaw. You can hug your knees in towards your chest, and you can rock a little bit from side to side there, just rocking around on your lower back. Eventually finding your way over onto one side or the other, knowing there is absolutely no rush to be getting up. So just rest on your side for a moment. Rest on your side for a few deep breaths. And then if you feel that now is a good time to be coming into a more upright, seated position, then you can come up into a more upright and seated position. Hari Om.